Hello humans, it's just Martine and it's time for a book club reading vlog. Between my friends and I, we have like a lot of book clubs going on, and so some months we have several books to read. Most months, I'm pretty on top of it. This month, I feel like I'm not, because I was recovering from Wonderathon and then I got sick and now we're here. So I have some books that I need to read in the next few days. It's not that dire yet. I have like a week and a half to read them. One technically I could read in August, but I haven't now, so you know, why not include it in this video? So there are 3 different book clubs slash read-alongs that I'll be reading for in this video. The first is the first month of the Junie B read-along, which I'm co-hosting with my bestie Bailey from Is Bailey Reading, and so we're reading the first Junie B book, and then our nonfiction pick for the month is The Perfection Trap. Then for the Shelf This book club, which is created and hosted by Bailey and has rotating co-hosts each month, I am reading Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I'm pretty sure Rena picked this one. And then I have the Throwback Book Club, co-hosted by Danielle from Danielle Reads and Lizzie from Lizzie's Literary Life, 2 more of my besties. In the months of July and August, we're reading the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, so I want to read the first book in the month of July. Those are the books on the docket for this video. Let's get reading. I think the most annoying part of this vlog is going to be that I have to read on my phone. I used to read on my phone constantly, like that was the main way that I read, and now that I have my Kindle, you know, why would I do that except that the Junie B ebook is not available through Kindle. You know how on Libby you can choose read with and it gives you the options like Kindle, Libby? There's no Kindle option for it. It's just Libby. So, like, I know it's not going to take long, but I've been procrastinating it for, I think, 15 days now. Like, I think that's when I checked it out, was 15 days ago, and I haven't read it because I don't want to read on my phone. I want to read on my Kindle, but I can't read that on my Kindle, so. Okay, so I just finished my first book for this because I took like 20 minutes to read Junie B and the Stupid Smelly Bus, which I gave 4 stars, mainly just because like it's a really fun writing style. I was a bit tired of it at the end, which doesn't set up well for the rest of the series, but that's okay. In general, it's just a really fun children's series, and this one I have very particular memories of. Like, I remember the plot points of this book from reading it when I was younger. That's how much I remember it and how nostalgic it is. So yay, done with that one. I think it's going to take just a little bit longer to read the other books for this vlog though, but it's something. New day, same vlog. It's Saturday, and last night I started The Perfection Trap, and I just know that book's going to be a lot for me right now. I think I'm like 4% of the way in, and I've already highlighted an absurd amount of text in it, so that's great. I'll get to the discussion for it and be like, I don't know what to say, except there's a lot, you know? There's a lot happening. In the beginning, we're just basically talking about what perfectionism is and isn't, and how it's kind of glorified in society, and it shouldn't be. I do really need to start moving through these books though, because I don't know if Bailey has announced the actual date and time for the Shelf This book club discussion, but I know that our book club discussion for the Junie B stuff is next week, so I really gotta get reading. Happy Monday. I really did not get much book club reading done this weekend, I would say, because I was reading for another vlog, but this week it has to happen because Sunday is the live show for the Junie B stuff, so Perfection Trap I need to finish, and also for Shelf This, so is it called like Where Sleeping Girls Lie? That one has to be finished too. Until late last night I hadn't even started that one, so I finally started it last night. I'll just read The Summer I Turned Pretty like after I finish those 2 because those are the really important ones. That one we're not discussing until like the end of August, beginning of September, so I've got a moment. It's still gonna make this vlog, but just the urgency is not the same for that one. Let's talk about where we are, I guess. Both of these are reading pretty slowly. I'm at 13% of The Perfection Trap. I'm having trouble identifying if there's a lot of back matter and that's why it's reading slowly, or if it's just gonna take forever. And then Where Sleeping Girls Lie is reading like a little slowly too, but that's probably just because I read it right before I fell asleep, and it will probably pick up pace not only as I continue and I'm set in the story, but also as I am awake. The priority of those 2 for me is going to be The Perfection Trap, because I'm one of the hosts for that live show, whereas Shelf This, I'm not one of the hosts, but that one's still gonna get done too. Those 2 are They're definitely gonna get done. I don't want to say like a particular number today because my day's kind of busy and I don't know how it's gonna go, but I will say that I would like to make progress on both of those today. I have to do like 30 minutes of other reading before I can get to this, but after that, you know, it's going down. Happy Thursday. I have just hit 50% of the Perfection Trap, and I am not that far on the other book, Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I'm at 20% of that. So things are kind of slow going, and I only have a few days to get it together for those two books, and I haven't touched The Summer I Turned Pretty yet. Ernie's here to join me. Say hi, Ernie. Luckily, today I don't have much going on this afternoon. We'll run some errands, but I'm caught up on grading for the week and stuff, so I should be able to knock out some good reading for the rest of the day. That's how I got to 50% of the Perfection Trap to begin with, because I was at like 42% before the day started. I will say so far with the Perfection Trap, okay, I was really enjoying it at the beginning, and now that we're in the sections about like what has caused the rise in perfectionism, I'm not as interested. I'm really waiting for the author to get to the part where he tells us the solution, because he's kind of making it seem hopeless in the middle, and I'm not sure that's a helpful perspective. I don't think you have to convince people this much that perfectionism is a huge problem in today's day and age. I think most people who are picking up this book have dealt with perfectionism to some degree in their lives and are perfectly aware that it's a problem. It doesn't feel good, but hopefully we'll get to the part where we talk about how to fix it soon. And then Where Sleeping Girls Lie is going fine. The beginning's just been kind of slow for me. Oftentimes the beginnings of books are slow, and then I speed through the second half, so I just need to get myself to that 50% mark on that one, and we should be okay. Ernie and I are going to sit here and do, not just that, I probably won't get to 50% of that one today, but we're going to sit here and read, is the point. Happy Friday. I just finished reading The Perfection Trap, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed the beginning, and then part of the middle. By the end, I was feeling meh about it. As an examination of what perfectionism is and why it happens, I thought this was a great book. As a book about what to do about it, not as much. There were really 2 chapters about what to do about perfectionism. One was a personal approach and talking about acceptance, and that is valuable. And one was talking about the cultural shifts that need to happen, and that is also valuable. But I didn't feel like I was given enough tangible tools that I wanted to be given. And maybe that is the fault of the subject matter. Maybe there are not these tangible tools to be given about perfectionism. Maybe what I want for my problem doesn't exist. Nevertheless, that's what I wanted from it, and so not getting it was a little frustrating. And I also think like the discussion about things like radical acceptance, while good, were not enough. For example, I feel like the author didn't talk specifically in the way that I wanted about his journey to radical acceptance, what practicing radical acceptance really looks like. Like he said it was, believing you're enough. Well, how do you get there? That's what I wanted him to talk about. Isn't the whole subtitle something about embracing good enough or something? But so little of the book was talking about how to do that. That's that. I did get to halfway of Where Sleeping Girls Lie last night, which is exciting. So I'll continue reading it today and then finish it up tomorrow, I guess, in plenty of time for the Sunday live show. Another book down. I should probably also start The Summer I Turned Pretty, maybe today. If I want this vlog to come out next week, then maybe I should start reading the last book for it, We'll see. I've been working this afternoon on reading Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I'm now at 80%, and we just had a huge reveal in chapter 38, and I feel really frustrated that I cannot talk about this reveal because it is such a huge spoiler. I can't even say why it upset me, because that would be a huge spoiler, but I did not appreciate it. First, I did not appreciate it, and then I saw what was going to happen in the rest of the chapter, and then I shut down. Great times. I'm interested to see where it goes from here, but I felt like that was a cheap plot twist, and then just a very specific, to me, don't do that thing that the author did. And I'm I should have cried about it, but I couldn't because I had to leave my body briefly. Okay, good talk. Right, so on Friday night, after I filmed that update clip about like the plot twist, I did end up finishing Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and I'm giving it 4 stars. However, I have some very strong feelings about some choices that were made. So let's go back to the beginning. What is this book even about? So it's a dark academia book, same author I believe who wrote Ace of Spades. We're following this girl, she's starting her attendance at this boarding school. The very first night, I think it is, her roommate goes missing. We don't really have insight into what happened in her past, but clearly something weird has happened that's brought her to this moment in time. Her roommate goes missing and all the adults believe everything is fine, but she feels like it's not. So she starts investigating and things kind of go from there. In general, I think it always would have gotten a 4-star, but where I really strongly felt like it lost a star was on that plot twist. Because the plot twist that I ranted about, I kept in mind for the rest of the book. And I think very firmly that that plot twist didn't actually add anything truly substantial to the book aside from shock factor. And shock factor is important for some books, right? This was technically like a mystery thriller situation, and some could argue that shock factor is one of the most important things for the book. But I truly felt like the plot twist that was revealed was somewhat inconsistent with the character that we had known throughout the whole story. I felt like there continued to be a disconnect through the rest of the story that just didn't make sense for me. That disconnect for me, I think, is based off of lived experience related to the spoiler that I cannot tell you about. But just know that it didn't feel right. Like, the spoiler didn't feel right. It seemed like a needlessly shocking event just for the sake of something shocking, which I found incredibly frustrating because the specific content was personally difficult and harmful in some ways for me. So I think with that in mind, being like, there was no real point to this, I don't feel like it added to the story, just kind of cheapens the plot twist, is my thought. But overall, I really liked the vibe of the story. I agree with the messages of the story and all those things. So I'm glad that I read it regardless, but that plot twist really upset me in so many different ways. So that's on that. Howdy. I actually read The Summer I Turned Pretty this weekend, but I read it in such a short period of time, I didn't even have time to tell you that I was starting it. So I started and finished The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the series because I'm pretty sure I had read this one like a long time ago before I got Goodreads, etc. back in like maybe early high school or late middle school. But I didn't continue on with the rest of the series at the time. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. If you don't know, in this series, we're following Belly, short for Isabel, and she and her mom and her brother always go to this summer house with her mom's best friend and her 2 boys every summer. That's how they spend their summers. And she's got a lot of things going on in her brain about these family best friend boys. And so we're following her this summer. She's 15, turning 16, and she starts to get some attention from people. Hence why it's called The Summer I Turned Pretty. But really, it's a lot more than that. I feel like Jenny Han always writes really good teenagers, like realistic and ones you can root for. So this is no different. I had a really fun time reading it, and it's a super quick read, which I can always appreciate. But that does mean that I've read everything that I set out to read for this vlog. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Let's see. I had Junie B. Jones. I had The Perfection Trap. Those both got 4 stars. I had Where Sleeping Girls Lie. That got 4 stars. And I read The Summer I Turned Pretty, which got 4 stars. So this was just a 4-star bonanza, if you will. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below how many book club books do you tend to be juggling per month, and subscribe for more bookish and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!